Even with the very best of tyre maintenance, it's still possible to get a puncture. Now, while calling for roadside assistance is definitely the preferred option, it may be necessary for you to change the tyre and wheel yourself. Jacking a car up and changing a tyre isn't too difficult in itself, but there are a few things that you need to be aware of, and obviously, safety is paramount. It's critical that the car is secured properly and that there are no people standing around the vehicle. Also, you certainly wouldn't want to be getting underneath the car that's only supported by a jack. Always check the owner's manual first and see what the vehicle's manufacturer suggests. It's also a good idea to have a practice of this one day while the car's in the garage. It's better to have learned how to do this in a good environment rather than stranded by the road somewhere. There are also a couple of tips to remember before you start jacking up a car. Ensure that you're in a safe location and on firm ground. Make sure the transmission is in park in an auto or in reverse in a manual. Ensure the handbrake is on. Chock the diagonally opposite wheel. Remove the spare wheel and tyre combination and locate under the rail of the car. This provides support if the vehicle was to fall from the jack. Check the jacking point. Only jack at the manufacturer's recommended location. Place the jack in position and simply wind up the jack until slightly supporting the vehicle. Loosen the wheel nuts, but do not remove. Now jack the car up until the tyre and wheel are free from the road, allowing you to remove the wheel and tyre. Remove your flat tyre and wheel and locate this beside your spare under the sill of the vehicle. Do not put it straight back in your boot. Before installing the spare wheel and tyre, check the hub of the vehicle to ensure no parts are left behind. Now, just a side note on this issue, if your car's fitted with a set of aftermarket wheels and tyres like this one, there's a possibility that they may be fitted with a hub locating ring. It's really important that this isn't left on the hub when you change the tyre. So when you're fitting back to an original wheel, just make sure something like this hasn't been left on the hub. It'll just mean the original tyre won't fit properly, and that could be a problem. Once that's clear, you can install the spare wheel and tyre onto your vehicle. Tighten the wheel nuts as tight as you can with the wheel brace. Slowly wind your jack down and check your wheel nuts once again for tension, ensuring they're tight. Just a couple of final points on this subject. Once the tyre's been successfully changed, just make sure that you pack up all your gear and that you've got everything that belongs with the vehicle. Remove the wheel chocks and head to your local tyre dealer as soon as you can, just to make sure the wheel nuts are torqued up properly. As I mentioned at the start, changing a tyre is relatively straightforward, but we always want to be aware of the risks and take into account any potential safety problems. I've seen people stop by a very busy highway when there was literally an emergency lane or an off-ramp only a few hundred metres down the road. So whilst you can't always plan where you're going to get a flat tyre, what you can choose is where you're going to change it. So when it comes time to replacing that tyre or wheel, try to do it in the safest place possible.